Live from Indianapolis, Indiana. Welcome to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show, presented by Scott K. Nichols and State Farm Insurance. And now, here's your hosts, Brandon Reef and Jonathan Birdsong.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Crossroads Sports Radio, episode number 326. Here for a Wednesday late afternoon, mid-afternoon, pre-Thanksgiving special. I'm your host, Brandon Reef. We'll be joined, as always, by my co-host, Jonathan Birdsong. We've got a good show for you tonight, y'all. This is the pre-Thanksgiving, your little appetizers before the main event, which will be tomorrow. Obviously, we've got great food tomorrow. We've got football. We've got college basketball. We've got all that more. But you can't have the turkey without some mashed potatoes. So if I'm the turkey, we got to have the mashed potatoes, and we got to have my co-host, Jonathan Birdsong. JB, you are the mashed potatoes. How are you, sir?
Man, I would never call myself a turkey, man. But no, man, I get the analogy, man. I get the parallel, man. Good to be on, man. Happy pre-Thanksgiving show. We had to start a little early at 4 o'clock today, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm always down for a little early sports talk, especially after, you know what I'm saying, as we are kind of in the middle of, you know what I'm saying, a college sports, football, basketball bonanza, right? And, you know what I'm saying, we got NFL playoffs as well. So, you know what I'm saying, special early start time for us today, man. Brandon, you know what I'm saying, what to do, and I know you chomping at the bit, them Hoosiers, man, Hoosier basketball, but man, realistically, man, where do you want to start at?
Let's dive right into college basketball because, that's what the hot topic is right now. We've got a lot of games going on over the past week, obviously, and, the Hoosiers today, I've got the Facebook and the Twitters pumping with IU fans. And all from a simple tweet of, y'all paid them how many million for this? I mean, if you didn't see the score, IU got blasted today, 89-61 by, not Duke, not Kansas, not North Carolina, Louisville, folks. Louisville, who brought 0 guys in. So I heard like, well, it's a new team. It's hard for us to get everybody together and they get them to mesh. Louisville brought 0% scoring back. This is a fresh team, and they just came out and kicked IU's ass. IU looked dead. They looked discombobulated. They turned the ball over, I think, more in the first half than they scored points. Mike Woodson just sat there on the bench like nothing ever happened.
Yeah. You didn't see so before when it was kind of coming out of control. You know what I'm saying? You didn't see a defensive change. You still seen guys out of position. I don't know how many times I saw Ballo. You know what I'm saying? And that's it's supposed to be one of their guys to kind of hold down the middle. They have Indiana Hoosiers do not have any. They got some streaky shooters, so you can't say that, but they don't have any rim protection or any right now or any dependable rebounding. So you kind of, you know what I'm saying? Of course, you know what I'm saying? All that kind of goes back to the coach. Of course, you know what I'm saying? They paid guys to come back, whether it was Lille or, you know what I'm saying, anybody, any outside help, the guy they transferred from Washington State, he wasn't cheap. You know what I'm saying? I think he went 2 for 7.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they got a lot of work to do. The Hoosiers got a lot of work to do, obviously. You know what I'm saying? You're playing, you know what I'm saying? You pass your little cupcake schedule, man. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I know I talk a little different tune in football, but you're here in basketball, man, we are very realistic about Indiana. And you pass your cupcake schedule, and you're in the middle of it. And Brandon, kind of makes you go back to man, everybody you bring in, you know what I'm saying, they might say one thing, but you know what I'm saying, do they really, you know what I'm saying, rep the culture and what it means to play for that uniform on, man? I know you give folks a hard time about the candy stripes, man, but you know what I'm saying, once you get out there on the hardwood, man, and you're playing in this case, you know what I'm saying, a Louisville, who, man, let's make no mistake, Brandon, Louisville just didn't, you know what I'm saying, they were last 2 seasons, man, they, you know what I'm saying, coach in and coach out, and you know what I'm saying, and I get it, they're
from Wisconsin.
Yeah, right, and I understand they are, you know what I'm saying, a program now that's on the upper swing, but IU, you weren't supposed to be part of the upper swing. You know what I'm saying? They were supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, somebody that, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, definitely, especially coming after last year, you know what I'm saying, Coach Wilson and this IU program. So I definitely understand the frustration and to raise the eyebrows and like this is what we pay for. And like Brandon, I kind of go back to, and I let you kind of send it on because I know we ain't gonna spend it all this time by you, but I kind of look back at who did you bring into your program? You brought in free agents, kind of, sort of, not even kind of, sort of. So like you don't have the kid that went to what's his name, McNeely, and he took it on the chin the other night against UConn, right? But like you don't have a McNeely who knows what it means to play in Indiana for IU. You didn't get a Florian Banga. I know I jacked up his name, who plays for Kansas. But like, look, Brandon, look at all those two guys. And I know somebody from Purdue didn't get me, but Purdue got Indiana guys on their roster. You know what I'm saying? And if they did, and if they wasn't part of, like, you know what I'm saying, you didn't get no Mickey Mouse around with the coach. He's like, hey, man, get out. You know what I'm saying? Bye. So, like, Indiana, right, who did you bring? That's what I kind of point back into. Who did you bring into your program? Because, like, man, that's not even Archie Miller. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's Archie Miller level coaching and, like, the reaction to, like, your team not being prepared. So yeah, he's got a lot to answer for, and especially as they tune up for their Big Ten schedule.
Yeah, it was literally the first 3 minutes of the game. Ballo was taken over, and then it went just deathbed for Indiana. Ballo, I don't know if you could tell him, I'll pay you $5 million if you can hit 5 of 10 free throws. I don't think he'd be able to do it, man. He is just a terrible free throw shooter. He doesn't know if he's left-handed or right-handed. That's a problem. Now, I know they said in the Calcast that Calvert Cheney's been working with him. So that's at least good, but he's a liability out there, man. You can't have Renew and him out there at the same time. They're just, and then try to think that you can speed up play, because it does work. Galloway just looks lost. He can't play defense worth a lick. Him and old Gaby Cups, I'll steal a phrase from old Double D. I think those two have spent too much time playing on the little little TikTok dances. Instead of playing football, which now it was reported that there's some insiders inside that locker room that are not too happy and are over the BS of the TikTok videos. That's what was reported. I don't know the truth of it, if it's true or not, but
right, and that's the obstacle, right? Because that looks hurtful. Like, man, y'all not working. Y'all working hard. Because, like, man, we know production kind of production they can kind of come with and to help boost. You know what I'm saying? Push out whatever IU basketball players, stuff like that. That shouldn't be the focus. The focus is like to get back into the tournament. The focus is the Big Ten, you know what I'm saying, championship, and to restore IU. So they didn't like, you know what I'm saying, post forward this, you know what I'm saying, this checkbook. They you know what I'm saying, opened up for the be out show.
And it is millions of dollars. NIL was millions of dollars.
Right, but you hear me? They didn't do this to open up the checkbook, to open up, you know what I'm saying, for you to get outshown by Kurt Signetti. You know what I'm saying? So Hoosiers got a lot of work to do, got a lot of things to look in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Brandon, you broke it. I mean, there it is, man. Defensively, they didn't know what the hell they wanted to do today.
Not a chance.
And the other team played harder. And when it got out of, like, when it came 16, 17 points, man, they kind of just said
they folded.
They were just out there standing around.
100%. They folded.
They kind of just out there standing around.
This team,
got a lot of work.
I'll say this team, it showed very well. The spotlight showed that this is the first road game against competition that they've had all year. And that cupcake schedule they had for the first 4 games where they haven't played a road game. This is their first road game. And after this, they don't have any more until the conference season. So it's that cupcake-ass, soft, non-conference schedule that you think we're going to get all this praise. You ain't played anybody. Come on. South Carolina got beat by North Florida. Come on. Let's just be real for a minute here. But still, the candy stripe pants that adults are wearing. Come on, we gotta.
Don't bring that up.
We got to be better than that. We have to be better than that to wear candy stripe pants as a grown ass adult.
Oh man.
I mean, it's true. So, anything else, John? I guess I got Duke and Kansas. Duke had an impressive win the other night against Arizona. Last night, couldn't get it done against Kansas. I thought they fumbled the bag in that game last night. I tried to watch as much as I could before I fell asleep. Why is there so many good games that are late, not like decently timed like these are now? But
right, because you know the networks then kind of took over, man. Networks believe that you know what I'm saying, prime after 5 o'clock, definitely after 7 o'clock, everybody's at home. You can get prime eyes, but that's kind of what that is.
Cooper Flag, stay 4 years.
Yeah, hey man, I gotta stop getting so excited. I know on our last live, man, I accidentally called him Cooper Rush, man. Not like from the football player, man. But like, no, man, he is still. Hey, listen, if he ain't the best small forward wing, however you want to call that, you know what I'm saying? He's definitely one of the top 5 players, top 2 in the college ranks right now. Again, man, if you know what I'm saying, the NBA starts tomorrow, they're gonna take him. Whoever's you know what I'm saying, gonna probably go take him, look at him, and be the number 1 pick. He still has some things like this, like the spin move. it ain't always there. And you know what I'm saying, Kansas can. You know, we talking about the number 1 team. We ain't talking about, you know what I'm saying, Central Michigan. Sorry if I was dissing them, but you know what I'm saying, Kansas number 1 team. They made it hard for him. They also made it hard for Tyrese Proctor. You know what I'm saying, a name who's been there for a while. What's the guy's name? Con Canuck. I know I messed up his name, man. He's, you know, since newcomer to the Dukies, man. Again, he has bad turnovers again. I think it's a game you expect, you know, the Duke expects to win because, you know what I'm saying, again, they iron sharp as iron. And they probably, you know what I'm saying, you look at that match, you look at that whole game, Brandon, like, dude, they're going to make it up again. Somewhere in the tournament, hopefully the tournament committee don't put them on the same side. This, you know what I'm saying, in this coming March. But, like, no, man, I think our buddy Flag got a, you know what I'm saying, it's the turnovers for me. And especially when he goes to isolation.
Playing like a 17-year-old.
Yeah, playing like a 17-year-old, but like too much is granted, too much is, you know what I'm saying, expected. So, you know, there's a lot of things they got to, you know what I'm saying, trying to push a whole lot of elite level basketball in a short amount of time. And, you know, it's not necessarily, I don't think he's exposed or anything like that, but yeah, the one-on-one play and understanding like, hey man, you are now another level up. And we ain't watching that Olympic where you hit the shot over LeBron or one of them other, you know, one of them other Olympic hopefuls that we had during the summertime. Like, no, man, I think that game just kind of boiled down to the turnovers, man. I like Florian Banga's game. We look at the other side. We look at Kansas, man. He had a strong, not necessarily from an offensive standpoint. I think he barely had maybe 6 points, but like, man, like from a rebound standpoint, you know what I'm saying. Bill Self allowed him to, you know what I'm saying, finish the game as a freshman. You know what I'm saying? Hunter Dickinson goes out of the game with like less than that, like 9 minutes left or whatever, on the foul or whatever. He's been there for 7 years. Playing basketball feels like, yeah, but like, no, man. Florian Banga, another guy, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, they possibly let leak out of here to state of Indiana. He goes over there and, you know, there's not so much pressure, but like from a rebound standpoint, he was there to terror on the boards, man. And like defensively, man, they put him in situations where, you know what I'm saying, they needed him to be critical. Kansas looks like they could be a Final Four team. Duke does too. Duke's got to figure out their turnover issues, and like I said, they'll be fine.
Oh yeah, I'm just looking at these tweets from IU fans. They're all calling for Woodson's departure. Somebody said, "Who was worse, Mike Woodson at IU or Darvin Ham at the Lakers?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm like, come on now." Now I do want to say, I have never been, and I have a sound clip still. I want to give the claps because it's always a great day in college basketball when you see a big ass crybaby whining, bitching on the sidelines, making it all about himself, and costing his team a win. Not once, but twice, rolling over on the ground like I about said the F word, like a freaking kid, like a 5-year-old in a temper tantrum. Dan Hurley, I'm tired of his jackass antics, him trying to make the spotlight of himself, and all that. I'm so glad he cost his team a win last night. Last night. So glad. That team's a joke. His program's a joke. I don't care. He's a jackass.
Oh, he said 30 years, buddy. He said that UConn
Blue blood
had been running basketball for 30 years, like they had ranked up 25 banners in the 25. And then he went nuclear on the coast. Man, This is something like, man, around these parts we've seen before. Not on the coast, but on the referee. We've seen that before, man. Bob Knight. You know what I'm saying? Of course. You know what I'm saying?
He couldn't handle. He couldn't hold Bob Knight's jockstrap.
Well, hey, man, he trying to get the 3-peat the best he can, and like I guess some of the stress is kind of like built up. I think that offensively, man, UConn's still a pretty good unit. Defensively, man, they're not necessarily doing the things that they want him to do, and like you got to also understand, Dan Hurley got to understand, man. You know what I'm saying? You living in a different time. You're not playing with like Bob Knight level players who got that mental dexterity. I mean, hopefully his team don't check out on him. That's what I would say, man. Because
it'd be a shame.
there ain't no way losing to Memphis. Okay, like
I didn't know they were going to be that good this year.
Well, listen, man.
Penny got the boys.
Come on, man. They got a bunch of 23-year-old guys. Man, Penny's son don't even play for Memphis, man.
Damn.
He made him transfer. Yeah, man. But listen, serious business. So like Memphis is an older team. And I'm not saying that's like long lasting. They you know what I'm saying? Because even when they get into conference play, man, it's going to be kind of like challenging for them. It is for Memphis, but that's a good win for them. But there's no reason why you should be losing Colorado, UConn. No reason. You know what I'm saying? Colorado had a lot of guys exit. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, whether it's, you know what I'm saying, G League, you know what I'm saying, NBA, whatever. But like, there's no reason you should lose Colorado. So UConn, I think they'd be good. You know what I'm saying? Going back and you know what I'm saying. But Coach Hurley, he got to put it in because you're right. He cost the team the game.
100% cost them a game. Yeah, right now we've got West Virginia and Gonzaga 3 minutes to go. That game's in a 1-point game. Gonzaga only up by 1 on West Virginia. We've got Colorado and Iowa State. Iowa State's going to win that Maui 5th place game. They're up 28 right now on Colorado, just beating the brakes off of Colorado. They got let everything out already. 5 o'clock, John, here in about 45 minutes during our show, we're going to have the Maui Championship, Memphis and Auburn. Auburn, man, I thought they lost that first game. They were down by 18-19. I took the spread on them. They didn't cover the spread, but they won the game. But, dude, they just keep battling. Bruce Pearl's got his boys ready to play.
Yeah, I haven't yet to see any of the tape on them, or really Alabama, who's also.
Yeah, I watched them last night come back win. Huge.
Yeah. I'm also kind of anxious to see Cal's team, Arkansas.
Tomorrow.
What they kind of got rolled. You know what I'm saying? I kind of focus. Brandon, honestly, like, dude, I was kind of worried about our homies because I know Tanner kind of communicates with Coach Lewis, but I was kind of worried about Mike Lewis. You know what I'm saying? But like, no, even I kind of focused on Ball State. Picked up 2 wins.
Yeah,
in the past. They picked up. I think they beat Florida Tech. I get it, man. These things ain't gonna blow anybody away.
All right.
But when you are a quote unquote reeling team, you know what I'm saying, you beat Eastern Kentucky, which I do believe they beat, and like a Florida Tech, and they got a potential to, you know what I'm saying, play. I think they played the next game, play at Richmond. Again, man, you know what I'm saying. You take those wins, you know what I'm saying, and these opportunities, especially, you know what I'm saying, dude, they trying to get to the tournament. You know what I'm saying? So that's where my kind of focus has been. Indiana State looks pretty good as well.
They took one on the chin the other night against USI.
Yeah, not like last year. I kind of, you know what I'm saying, been watching where shirts went back to St. Louis as well.
How they do?
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, man, Brandon, I think Brandon's like, listen, man, sometimes it's better to serve in heaven than it is to serve in hell.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
I get it, man. You know, big lights, big city, St. Louis, bigger contract. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying, the more level up opponents, and he took some guys with him, you know what I'm saying? He took, you know what I'm saying, Kareem Abdul, you know what I'm saying, the homie, the big center. He took him with him, but, like, you know what I'm saying, again, I think they're challenging, but, like, Indiana State still had enough. You know what I'm saying? You think about that conference, they still had enough if they didn't have all those exits. You know what I'm saying, to technically challenge for that, and to get back in the tournament. You know what I mean? But
I'm trying to find them. What conference are there?
Yeah, I keep my eyes on the mid majors, especially around here. Even Butler, you know what I'm saying. Brother unfortunately a couple weeks ago took a bad loss against Austin Peay. You know, if Austin Peay got a guy with one arm,
yeah,
playing basketball.
I heard a story about him, and then I saw him dunk all over Butler that night. Easy.
I said, man, come on, man, dog, man. This ain't Matt Howard's Butler, y'all. So it ain't. But no, man. But they bounced back, man. Here locally, but like, man, the best team probably in the state, I know, fall out. It's probably the Ball State women's basketball team. You know what I'm saying? From a one loss standpoint, I know, you know, they haven't necessarily gotten to the gut of their you know what I'm saying, conference play and all that either. But like, you know what I'm saying, playing well as well, man. But like, nah, man, that's kind of got my eyes on. I'll catch up with Bruce Pearl's team and some other teams as well.
Yeah, Auburn looks really, really good. I'm surprised how well Memphis is. Hey, man, you need to make sure you give some love to the other Indiana team, Notre Dame. Notre Dame's 4-2. They did. They lost their best player with a bad injury. Rutgers beat Notre Dame in overtime, 85-84. Harper had a career high 36, and Rutgers held off Notre Dame for that victory Tuesday night. But yeah, they lost their main number one guy, so that's going to be it's going to hurt them a little bit as they go down the stretch. Yeah, look, it's going to look bad. Nick Peterson just texted me. Obviously, he's a big IU fan. He does our college basketball with us. He goes, IU dropped from 38 to 58 in the Ken Palm rankings in less than 40 minutes.
Man.
He dropped 20 spots in 40 minutes. That's almost 2 spots every 2 minutes. So yeah, college basketball, the swing of things are going on. The Boilermakers, they play tomorrow. They're taking on NC State tomorrow. So there's the thing we talked about back during the tournament and being tournament ready, tournament tested. Purdue's schedule, continuing to play the upper echelon of talent to get that team ready to see kind of what you got. And that's the problem I feel IU's going to have is, John, it's going to get tournament time, and they're going to look at that resume and be like, okay, we may get in on this, but then do we feel really comfortable like playing because you got to play some good teams outside of the conference.
Correct.
To get that style, because it's not Big Ten ball when you get to the NCAA tournament. Purdue, they've played Alabama, they've played Marquette, they've got NC State, they've got Texas A&M, they've got Auburn. 5 teams coming up, and and the Auburn game, I believe, John, me and you might be at that.
But I didn't see, like I said, they played Alabama.
Yeah, me and you are going to be at the game on the 14th. I'm putting in credentials for us for the Classic, Indiana Classic. They take on Texas A&M.
Be there.
But they're playing the good teams to get themselves tested. IU's just not doing it. I don't see anything. Sam Houston State, Miami, Ohio, Chattanooga, Winthrop. What the hell does that do for you?
Man, Ball State needs that schedule, right? You know what I'm saying? But Butler might need that schedule, man. But hell, they playing Wisconsin in the Indy Classic, man. So again, you got to be always trying to challenge yourself and not necessarily padding. You know what I'm saying? Your one-loss record. You know what I'm saying? It's good, man. It's kind of okay. You say Sam Houston, like, you know what, Brandon? If it was a football team, I'll be all for it. You know what I'm saying? You showcasing. Texas is known for football. Basketball, not so much, man. So you done made this partnered up with this AD so that y'all can play. You know, Sam Houston can play Bloomington, and Bloomington, like, man, what's the whipping in there? You know what I'm saying? How do you prevail from that? What do you get from that other than of course, yeah, they should be dominant. But damn, Brandon, we have been living in a world where the Kennesaw States of the world, you know what I'm saying, and some of the smaller schools have already kind of stunned, you know what I'm saying, some of the larger, you know what I'm saying, Power 5, quote unquote, Power 4, whatever, Big Ten schools, man. So, IU, if the homie is talking about Ken Palm already, man, that means, you know what I'm saying, Mike Wilson got to go cut out for him. And that Big Ten schedule, I don't have it in front of him. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I've got it here.
Some of the games. Go ahead, pull it up.
I've got it. What do you want? I mean,
you didn't made it back to IU, man. I'm trying to get the folks back on Purdue.
Oh, okay.
Purdue looks good. Still solid. Purdue looks good. Still solid defensively. Again, man, we know a couple weeks ago they took a huge loss in the Jacobson kid. Taking, you know what I'm saying, that was you know what I'm saying, I won't say call him a project, man. Hell, he was, you know what I'm saying, doing some of the things Zach Edey was doing, man. But I think, like you said, man, Purdue, you know, iron sharper iron. You ain't gonna never how good you are, or how far you can go. Hell, how bad did you feel after the Marquette as a fan? I know you're not a super fan anymore, but how bad did you feel after the Marquette game? My guy Kai Jones had a daggone triple-double against them. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't really feel bad. First road game, Marquette's no slouch. They played them last year, and it was tough in Mackey, so you kind of had an idea it was going to be tough up there in Pfizer.
Right. My man, it was, you know what I'm saying, welcome team. Mm-hmm. You know, Marquette's going to be there. They, you know what I mean, as far as the Big East is concerned, you know what I mean? So you played like somebody in your preseason. You know what I mean? Marquette is, you know, always challenging for the Big East title, even though it ain't East. You know, it's crazy that is.
Right.
But no, man, Purdue. I haven't even looked at, Brandon, I'll be honest with you, I don't even look at Big Ten, who they say is going to finish last anymore or middle of the pack anymore. Again, we have a new Big Ten now. So that kind of has to be accounted for. Where does UCLA kind of fit in this equation? for Big Ten dominance, and then Ohio State goofiness. They got players leaving in the middle part of the season.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So again, there's a lot of questions. You know, still have to be answered, but like there's a lot of dysfunction kind of going on with the Hoosiers right now. So hopefully, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, everybody here knows us on this show, man. We are very pro positive, even though we might have our, you know, what we grew up with, right? Root for whatever. More Indiana teams in the tournament, the better tournament is.
And I do have a thing I want to play real quick. It was from Matt Painter. Matt Painter was on a podcast for the Hoops Herald, and they were talking recruiting. And this is kind of what Matt Painter was talking about with it, regard to recruiting and what he goes for.
That we redshirt.
Yeah.
He said,
Let me rewind it.
because people will use against us that we redshirt.
Yeah.
He said, well, go somewhere else and not play. And I said, then transfer after that year. Now, where do you sit? You think the schools, you're going to have better schools then? Like worse schools? I don't know. You might. I go, but you're looking at your happiness, but yet you're trying to dodge adversity because I got two guys in this position. I just lost out on a kid. And it was like, well, I just felt I had a better opportunity there. I'm like, yeah, no shit. They're not as good as we are. Like, no kidding. I go, but why can't you come in here and beat these guys out at our place? And they'll look, you think I can beat them out? I go, yeah, I think you can beat them out. I go, but I think they can beat you out too. So you're like, I'm not trying to set this up where I think you're my guy. I go, I'm going to give you everything in your power to be successful. But I'm also going to give the other 12 guys the same thing. I go, like, I'm for everybody. Like, so understand that. Like, they're painting a picture of you get to play more, but you got a better chance to develop into a pro here. You got a better chance to win a championship here. You got a better chance to go to the NCAA tournament for 4 years here. And then that's not important to you. And so, like, because we didn't used to be that school. And now we're that school. And then sometimes those guys will look at us like, well, they start to, hey, guy, that's not our guy. That's not our guy right there. And even though we recruited him, we offered him, we got there, you really don't know until, the rubber meets the road.
That's Matt Painter for you right there in recruiting, John.
I kind of like it, Brandon. That's my first time hearing it, and I do understand where he's coming from. And there really is no but, because, like, even when I communicate with pros, man, they say, man, NBA, NFL, like, do you have to, like, the work that you got to want it. Like, ain't nobody, they have trainers or whatnot, but, like, you got to work extra. You know what I'm saying? I think what Painter is saying here, like, you got to work. Like, get it, man. Like, okay, this is usually who we kind of talk about. We know he's, he's talking about my kid with the guy that went to BYU.
Catching,
so,
yes.
Like, dude, come on, catching. We know he's kind of, like, low-key kind of talking about him. And, like, we know that kid is, like, 6'9" or better. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who necessarily reminds you of from Purdue past, but he can play. You know, 6'9" or better. You know the name. He's been around basketball all his life. So Purdue was, hard on him, and you transfer to, you would think, right? A better, either another elite level, same level. You know what I'm saying? BYU last time they had anybody was great. Was it Jimmy Fredette? They had a magical tournament. You know what I'm saying? So that's the frustration because like kids don't seemingly want to be challenged. And now, yes, you're going to get as many shots as you want over at BYU. Yes, you might even be, Big 12, that in that particular league, Big 12 freshman of the year, you'll have the eyeballs on you. But like in the Big 10, you're playing against the Ohio State where they're going to play Purdue. Purdue Brandon, we went over it. They don't duck nobody.
Nope.
So you playing against other elite level, and Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong. The Big 10 don't ever not schedule Purdue and Rutgers. Right? And Rutgers always got,
always got their number.
Guys or one guy. They got either they got Purdue's number or they got two guys they can play in the NBA or it's going to, like they got this year. You know what I'm saying? I think Harper's other son, is floating around in Toronto somewhere right now. But like, no, man. So there is a level up. When you think about the Big 12, you don't think about Baylor maybe some years. Yes, they are good. You know what I'm saying? But you think about the Big 12 and what like that's going to bring, like, what are you playing? You playing Colorado? Yeah, maybe this year. You know what I'm saying? Kansas for sure every year. But you know what I'm saying? Wouldn't it be better playing Kansas in a game that really mattered and you ain't getting thumped by 15, 20 because they're gonna thump him when they play him. And I know he's got another year or so to get there, but that's kind of look at. And hey, dude, I can see why a super duper star, somebody like what I'm saying, a Cooper Flag wouldn't want to necessarily go to. What I'm saying, he's that dude. Believe me, he's getting coach hard. Like, dude, them turnovers cost, man. Like, Coach K is like, hey, bro, we ain't, like, he's up there looking down and saying, like, hey, man, this is not what I wouldn't have had that kid in that position to do that. Like, how many times you going to keep on doing that? You know what I'm saying? So, he's getting coach hard. So, like, are we getting coddled out here at BYU or other places? You know what I'm saying? Kind of what Coach alluded to. Are you getting coddled out here? Because that coddling is not necessarily going to help you if you try to get to the next level. Next level says there's no coddling. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're going to fly you out. Yeah, this best food and all that. But you got to want it. You got to push for it when you're on the next level. So I wish the best for Purdue as well as Catholic. How could I not? You know what I'm saying? That name's synonymous, you know what I'm saying, in the basketball streets. But, like, nah, man, yep. I kind of down with what Coach Panger's saying here.
Yeah, absolutely. Games for, an update for you. Gonzaga, West Virginia. West Virginia's down 1. They've got a free throw coming up. It's 5 seconds left from tying the game. They just had a nice pick and steal. So West Virginia trying for the upset. Tomorrow's games on Thursday, Thanksgiving. By the way, John, I watched Houston last night. I watched them in Alabama because I bet on Alabama to win and cover, and they did, thank God. But Houston, dude, they still look good. Calvin Sampson's got a team. They're athletic as hell like they were last year. The guys can play defense. They get up in your face. That's a strong defensive team. As long as they stay healthy, I think they got a really good shot again, man. They looked really, really good last night.
Okay.
So another game you have, the big one's going to be on CBS at 4 o'clock. That'll be after the Lions and Bears game tomorrow. Arkansas, Calipari at Illinois or against Illinois. They'll be played in Kansas City, Missouri. The Boilermakers play tomorrow against NC State in San Diego. That's at 3 o'clock Eastern. Northwestern takes on Butler and Arizona at 7 o'clock. So as John's getting his fourth plate of dessert, that Butler game will be coming on tomorrow night. So, and then the Hoosiers play tomorrow. I do not know a time yet. They're waiting on their opponent. They'll play the loser of West Virginia Gonzaga. For their case, they better hope to hell it's not Gonzaga, because I think Gonzaga may put up 100 on them, if that's the case for that. We're going to have Tanner joining us here soon. We got our guy Nas here. Let's bring him on real quick. Nas, what's going on, my man?
I ain't not, man. What's going on with y'all?
Oh, chilling, watching a little basketball, a little midday show. We got to get it in before the cooking starts tonight.
Yes, sir. That's right there. No, not much going on, man. I haven't been able to check any of those games yet. I guess the thing I wanted to talk to you guys about first, though, was Indiana. We got the worst outcome that we feared. We hope they don't get blown out. So all the justifications came. But then the bottom fell out of the SEC. So, what do you know?
Yeah. John, your thoughts, kind of with the Indiana, Ohio State, and then the SEC had their chances to move up, and everybody just kind of laid an egg.
Yeah, just a real interesting weekend of college football around. You know what I'm saying? Unpredictable. I know I don't really sports bet, man, but I do chime in from time to time. This is my worst week. I went 3 for 7. You know what I'm saying? And I have been kind of crushing it. IU just didn't have the extra level of playmakers. It's kind of like Coach told him, hey, man, go in there and make a play. And the wide receiver went out there and made a play. It's like Coach went in there and said, hey, man, we need a special teams fumble. And that's kind of what happened, man. So IU looked good on their first opening drive. But again, like, the fumble, the special teams, snafus or whatnot, man, Ohio State just has way too much. I believe, and me and Brandon's going to say, he will attest, man, that if the homie don't win this year, Ohio State, regardless, win the Big Ten title or not, like, they're going to be taking a serious look at him. Serious business. Yeah. So he had his team. So again, I get that, because the conference championship's gonna kind of come into play, and IU might be kind of still in jeopardy, especially if some of these SEC policies kind of come in. The politics for Alabama is done, unfortunately. But you know, what I'm saying, it probably kind of done for Ole Miss as well. But I don't know. It's just what has kind of been set into place with this playoff and potential. Like, you know what I'm saying? Ohio State has put themselves in a position. They beat Penn State, which was a top 10 team when they beat them. They beat Indiana, which was a top 10 team when they beat them. You know what I'm saying? They should feel darn good. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Regardless of their loss to Oregon, they should be darn good. That, you know what I'm saying? They should be ready and prepared and ready to beat anybody, whether that's Georgia or whoever. Going further as they, and I know we still got to play. They got to play a game in Michigan, but they should be ready and confident to play anybody. That's how I look at it. I mean, I don't necessarily harp on Indiana State. I don't harp on Indiana losing. I still think they should be deservedly positioned, you know what I'm saying, in this playoff conversation. But Ohio State has set themselves up to, you know what I'm saying, to win.
I agree with you. The Ryan Day stuff, especially, man. Ohio State is a machine. If you can't get that thing running right, they'll bring somebody else in who can, and there'll be no slipping. And watching that game, I think Indiana is good, but this wasn't like an X and O thing. This is Jimmys and Jones, man. If they didn't run back, they cannot protect the passing game. Like, at a certain point, I think that's what's going to become obvious in the playoffs as well, though. We're going to see some of these matchups, because as much as people are kind of poo-pooing on the Big Ten and SEC, I still say the cream of the crop of those, you know, those conferences, man for man, D-line, O-line, it's just different than everybody else. And when we get to the playoffs, we're going to see situations similar to this Indiana game, where you might have a better team than them. But if you can't block them, what difference does it make? And I think we're going to see a lot of that in the playoffs. Boys, they better get a good draw, man. As good as that little running back is, bro, if you can't create a lane, you don't go anywhere. So, yeah, I'm with y'all on that.
But so you bring up a good point, good draw. A good draw for Boise, after they look at a lot of tape of that Northern Illinois game, would be even to draw Notre Dame. But again, Notre Dame is big up front on their offensive line. So, like, they're going to be able to do anything. I damn near feel like they're going to be able to do anything against them. Boise State drawing against, or even the Clemson. Sometimes Clemson wins against the Indiana. Clemson against Indiana, man, that might go double overtime. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, yeah, it is about to draw. And I'll let Brandon chime in, I don't like nobody's draw against pissed off, whiny Kirby Smart. I don't like nobody's pissed off draw, or anybody drawing against Ohio State right now. Oregon, we think, man, Oregon did. If you go back and look at that Wisconsin game, didn't necessarily look the strongest. You know what I'm saying? And I know somebody's gonna prove it with Ohio State didn't look good against Nebraska, and Nebraska, like, they made a point. You made a point to blow out Nebraska, but again, Ohio State looks like they look like, even with the loss, they look like the number one team in America.
Yeah, I agree. They do. My thing, and this week's games are going to be huge, and we've got here a little bit. Tanner's going to join us. We're going to go through our picks, but I'm gonna, I'm looking at the seeds here right now. You got Oregon at 1, Texas 2, Miami 3. Here's the crazy thing, guys. Like, I looked into a little more. Like, it's not even a guarantee that the Big Four are always a guaranteed a bye and all that. There is a chance where the Big 12 could miss out, John. They could if Tulane ends up winning, and the Big 12 ends up in a bad this week in a bad Big 12 championship. Tulane could bounce the Big 12 from being in the playoff, and that's going to create some more politics, which will be crazy to see there. So that's a possibility. But here's my thing. If I'm IU, I think IU still gets in because they play Purdue this week. Let's be real. They're going to beat them by 60. Going to beat them by 60 for sure. Whatever the over is, take the over. The line right now is like 29.5. I just looked at the betting market to show you kind of how crazy it is. Let me pull it back up here. Sorry. 90% of the bets are on IU, and 100% of the money is on IU. So there is nobody, and there's this site I've got right now has got about 6,000 bets placed right now. Not bad for a Wednesday. everybody's on IU, and I think they cover that. I think it balloons to over 30 before kickoff on Saturday, and it's a Saturday night game. So Bloomington at night, it's going to be cold, nasty. Wind chill is going to be about 10 degrees. I think Purdue's just ready to get the season over. They can fire Ryan Walters after the game on I-65. You know, I've tweeted at the athletic director for Purdue every day for the last 5 weeks, asking why they haven't fired Ryan Walters yet. So I'm either going to get blocked.
He lost 5 recruits. Lost 5 recruits in the last 30 days, man. But like, granted, I didn't hear a little different, man. They gonna give him another.
That'd be dumb. Be the dumbest thing ever.
That's a good way to rally the alumni. You know, you throw that out there. Hey, maybe we bring them back. Then people start opening their checkbooks. And look, guys, I'm gonna show my age with this. I went on a visit with a guy who was signing to Purdue when I was a youngster, and while we were on campus, we saw Mike Allstott dragging his Blazer or whatever truck it was up the hill on campus. Like, I just thought about that because you brought up Purdue. I'm like, man, this dude, that giant human being was dragging a car while he was in. When you send your son off to college to play football, those type of monsters they're playing against, man.
It's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, we've got. And hey, I saw this today. I know North Carolina fired Mac Brown, and they're starting to do their new coach. Can they just stay away from Arthur Smith, my Steelers offensive coordinator? Can we just stay away from him, please? I know it's his alma mater, and they're interested in him, but Arthur, just stay in the NFL. Stay with the Steelers. We've already dealt with an offensive coordinator issue. We don't want another one.
Arthur has an amazing life. He is heir to a billionaire fortune. The thing he loves most is football, and he grinded his way to where he is now. And now more opportunities to open for this dude. Like, this dude just woke up rolling sevens, man. It is what it is. It didn't work out down in Atlanta, but shout out to that dude, man.
Yep.
Yeah, he's staying in Pittsburgh, man. That's just popular.
Absolutely. Nas, I have to ask you because you like NBA. I got to ask you, NBA wise, David Stern. Wow, R.I.P. David Stern. Adam Silver came out. They're going to try another new format for the NBA All-Star Game. 3 teams of All-Stars, 8 players each, and the winner of whoever wins the Rising Stars game to equal out your 4 teams. They're going to play semifinals to 40 points, then the final match to 25, reflecting the fast-paced nature of pickup basketball. Do we have any interest in this, or are we just saying, come on, man, it's about time to axe the game, unfortunately?
Look, the TV deals necessitate things like this. They have to keep coming up with different things because they don't want to be judged solely on ratings. Because, again, when you're talking about the NBA, social media is a big impact and a factor for it because of all the highlight stuff and all the clips that get shared every day and every night. So it just has a certain presence, but you still have to fulfill these obligations to the TV network. So you got to try to improve everything every year. So any solution they come up with, if you don't like it, hey, man, send them an email. Because if you got a good idea, they promise you, the NBA and Adam Silver, they are trying everything they can. So I hope this thing works out. I hope it doesn't turn into a farce. But from that All-Star game last year when all eyes were on the NBA and the TV deals were looming and, everybody thought it went badly, they had to try something, man. So I'm sure Brian and company are mad, but at this point, I don't think Adam Silver is answering them as a friend. I think he's looking at them like, look, man, these are the numbers. You have to do something. So, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that international market too, man. You know what I'm saying? They you know what I'm saying, the Asian international market, you know what I'm saying, they have different ways of how they like to consume content and sports betting, all that kind of plays into it as well. Did this person hit a 3? Did this person get a rebound? So they have to come up with more ways to get more stats out there and eyes and ears as well, man. I ain't a fan of it, of course, man. I'm like shouting at the clouds, you know what I'm saying, get off my lawn when it comes to the NBA All-Star events. I don't have any issues with them trying to inject, you know what I'm saying, the WNBA in any way, shape, or form. I think that's kind of cool. I just don't understand why I don't even know why they call them sophomores. You know what I'm saying? We're not in school anymore, but I don't understand why the rookies. I don't understand why the rookies. You know what I'm saying? That like, dude, like you got to earn your way into. You know what I'm saying? Into the All-Star game and all that. So it would even if fans vote in. You know what I'm saying? So
Could be worse.
Kind of cool.
They could just add Ice Cube's Big Three champions. Add them to this
Big
game.
Three. Oh man. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, 46-year-old Joe Johnson out there.
Or Rock and Jock, where you got 5 pointers.
Look, I bet you ratings would go up if they brought back Rock and Jock just for the All-Star weekend. Now that was fun. That was always great to watch on MTV. If they brought it back one weekend, just
you want Rock and Jock.
Oh,
they have a celebrity game, but it ain't Rock and Jock.
No, that celebrity game's a joke, and I don't know why we didn't get invited for the Indianapolis one last year. Still a little bitter on that.
They had that out there.
There we go, getting that game. And look, let me add the other thing. And this always is a problem with All-Star Weekend. We all got to understand it. It's little homies syndrome. As an NBA player of status, you want to be in the front row with your camera recording the young fellas doing extraordinary things as opposed to being a participant. You want to treat it as a vacation, and that's just not going to work, man. Like, guys are going to have to sell this product, so they're going to have to be involved. But everybody want to do the celeb type thing, where you just, you know what I mean? You're there and you're hanging out and you're being seen with people as opposed to being out there sweating. How many years did LeBron tell us he was going to do that slam dunk? You see what I mean? They just want to hang out, man. They don't want to get involved. Yep. But they're going to have to do it, man. And shout out to your guy Tyrese, man. Looks like he might be picking it up now.
Well, it's about time. I mean, what, 20 games, almost 15, 20 games a little late?
Yeah.
I think you seen them Ja Morant highlights, man. I'm saying, it's like, dude, you got to get on it, man. Ja Morant came back to the bench.
Yeah, I saw him sitting out too. So I don't know. We'll see. Pacers need it. We'll talk a little bit Pacers here in a bit. But Nas, man, I appreciate you for calling, my man.
Ben Mathurin. I know y'all got other calls. But yeah, talk about Ben Mathurin too, man. Don't leave that brother out, man.
No, he's a dog.
He's a true right. All right, y'all.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving, Nas.
Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, that's our guy, Nas. Man, I should have asked him. I wanted to ask every caller what their favorite meal is, side, I guess, dish for Thanksgiving. So just wonder what his would be. We'll talk ours in a bit. We got a guy on here, Tanner Penrod. What's going on, T? How are you? And did you give some magic to Mike Lewis because we've won 2 in a row?
I know. Had to do something. Yeah, it was better than the game I went to. Woo! But yeah,
yeah, a little bit.
They are on a win streak.
Yep,
I'll take it. So yeah.
Speaking of win streaks, Tanner, you had a better week.
Better than the Hoosiers played today.
Oh yeah,
we already ran them down.
Yeah, we ran them down.
Run that down already.
Oh yeah, dragged it, ran them down. Everything.
Got it in that ass today on Twitter.
Oh, so did I. I mean, I put it out there. I got an IU fan base coming for me. I said, "Y'all paid millions for this," and I just put the score out there. Like,
did you see the thing where Dockett said it looked like Galloway was in the casino late last night?
I did see. Yeah, Nick Peterson texted me and said that Galloway was late night at the craps table or at the poker table.
Yeah.
Well, at least he's not making TikToks that late, right? I mean, there's always that.
I know, yeah, Dockett's love. Oh, yeah, Dockett's always left their ass on making TikToks. That's hilarious.
Tanner, well done. You had a great week last week for Pick'em. Well, as I say, great because you beat all of the rest of us, but you had a good week.
Yeah.
John struggled. I can find it here in a second. John went 3-7. Me and you, Tanner, both went 4-6. So, but Birdsong still has a nice lead: 77 wins, 58 losses. I have 66 and 70. You're 64 and 72. I got 2-game lead on you. As we get down to the final couple weeks of the regular season before we got bowl season. So, let's recap real quick. We had Indiana, Ohio State this past weekend. I know, John, we just talked it a bit ago. I didn't think there was a way that IU was going to even come close in that game. I'm the only one that picked Ohio State, thank God. I burnt myself by taking switching to Ole Miss from Florida, so that would have gave me another win there. I burnt myself on that, but SEC, man, they had a chance to make some moves, and they just collapsed. Roll Tide Willie's pissed off. He's wanting to get them out of there.
Oh, yeah.
Just craziness. So,
Oh, yeah. SEC, they could have done some damage if people wanted that one-loss IU team out of there. That was the week for them, those teams to win, and they could have made it. Now I don't see no way IU's not in there.
The Indiana Hoosiers basketball team, West Virginia just beat Gonzaga in overtime, so number 3 goes down. IU will play Gonzaga. Gonzaga will put up over 100 points tomorrow in that game. You watch.
Oh, that's who IU plays now?
Yeah, they'll play Gonzaga. Yep.
Oh, I think they still would have lost to West Virginia. That DeMarais that went there from Drake, he would have got back. I think they would have struggled there.
Yeah. All right.
Woody's got to go. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Memphis and Auburn getting ready to start here soon. That'll be a big one. Let's go to the first game, guys. Ball State at Ohio. Ohio 15.5-point favorites going into this one. John, you're still our leader, so we'll let you honors.
Man, Ohio's going to a bowl game, man, and Ball State might be hiring Ryan Walters, so he's defensive coordinator, man. So go ahead and get me Ohio University.
I'm going to take Ohio as well. I like the Bobcats.
I'll snap call it.
Okay, everybody's on Ohio.
I think they're. Yeah, I think just folded in now. Normally the one game the team gets up on those coaches mid-season last week, and they didn't do it. I thought that's why I took Ball State last week. I was like, maybe they'll get up for the interim coach and play a little harder. But when I saw that, and I was like, games on the line, they don't have anything to play for. Can't make a bowl game. Can't do anything. I think they're just going to fold it in. Yep.
Purdue at Indiana, the old bucket game, old bucket game. 29.5-point favorites is Indiana. Tanner.
All right. Call me crazy.
Stop it.
I might take the Boilers right here.
No way.
There, no way. After your principle, you live on principle. This is not a principle play.
I don't know how they covered. They came back and covered last week.
Damn right they did. I took them last week and got that win.
Yeah. But I think Coach Sig knows he needs to got to put the foot on that ass if he wants it to make sure he can stamp his way in there. And after losing last week, and if this game was at noon and it was 29.5, I'd think about it. That game's going to be freezing ass cold. I looked at the weather. It's going to be like 17 degrees, 20 degrees at kickoff.
Purdue want no part of it.
Yeah, that's going to be freezing. The IU people will be Hambone Jones out there. They'll be ready to go right loud. Yeah, Purdue on 29.5, it seems like a lot, but I don't see them stopping them. I mean, their defense isn't even close to what Ohio State is. Mm-hmm. So, I only would have done it if it was a noon game, but since it's going to be night like that, yeah, Hoosiers are going to fall.
Okay. I'm going to take Indiana as well, minus the 29.5. I like the over in this game. I had it written down, and where did it go? But yeah, 29.5, I think that's cakewalk money. Purdue wants nothing to do with this. They're ready to call it the season. I hope they fire the coach. I think get back on I-69 to head up to 65.
Yeah.
They can just drop him off in Indianapolis to get on a plane. Over-under is 56.5. Yeah, give me that. Give me the over 56.5. Easy T. So yeah, I'll take the Hoosiers over Purdue. John?
Man, give me Purdue. Give me IU. Crazy. 55 or better. 55 points or better in the old Bucking game. At home. It's going to be gloomy. You know what I'm saying? Overcast, man. Yeah, man. They're going to score 55 or better. They might let Purdue score 6.
Okay. Next game, Texas minus 5.5 at Texas A&M. The rivalry's back, guys. It's been 14 years since these two teams have played.
Mhm.
I know both teams. Texas has not been chomping at the bit. Texas A&M
Nope.
has been chomping at the bit to play these two. You got Ewers that's been hurt, but then is back. Elko's got Texas A&M kind of playing a little bit better. They did lay an egg last week. Big one against Auburn. It took 4 overtimes for that game. But fellas, this rivalry game, there's been a lot of shit talking going on in Texas over the last 15 years for this about people ducking, not playing and stuff. Give me Texas A&M plus the 5.5.
What?
And I would not be surprised, boys. Mark it down. This is my money line play. I am betting money line Texas A&M to upset Texas.
Wow. You want another weekend of chaos? That's what you're asking for, Brandon.
It's
That's
happening.
what happens, man. I'm not going that way, man. Give me Texas, man. They got this.
Tanner.
I'm with Rick. Damn it. I was hoping I'd get to go first because I like the Aggies, too. Not going to be a bonfire there. Don't need anybody down on that, how they did that back in the day with that thing collapsed.
Right.
But I do like the Aggies. Hard place to play. 112,000 is going to be strong there. They win this game. Texas is going to be looking up a goat's ass trying to get in this CFP.
They're going to play Indiana in the first round of the playoffs. You watch if they lose this game.
I mean, they haven't. They're about not to bust IU's ass. They haven't beat anybody either. So
No, they haven't. A&M wants this game more than Texas. Texas don't want no smoke in this game.
Yeah. Texas needs this game, actually. But if A&M wins this, they're trying to get in. I mean, they fell too far in the poll, I think. I don't know where they're at now, but that CFP. But they're trying to make a move. If they can win this game, they're going to. Some 3-loss SEC school's going to get in there. Just watch this shit when the CFP comes out.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, I'm with Reed. I like A&M in this spot. So, give me A&M.
We got A&M.
Hey, fellas. Brief, I'm going to text you real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
I might have to hop up. I might have to hop up here and take this call. It's my mom.
Okay.
Let me call you guys.
Yeah,
right
call
now.
us back. You're good.
Yeah, I got text. She knew she was supposed to call me. All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah. All right. Mama calls. We got to take it. Yeah, Texas A&M,
Right.
man. I just have a feeling I'm going to take the spread plus the 5.5 at this. I'm also going to take the money line. I will put a bet on them for the money line. I think they have a good chance to upset Texas this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Next game, John, is Georgia Tech at Georgia. Georgia minus 19.5. I'm taking Georgia Tech plus the 19.5. I think Georgia Tech covers this game. I think it's closer than the experts think. I think we got ourselves a 10-point ball game.
You looking at what Georgia Tech has done this whole season? They have played better.
And I'm looking at Georgia not blowing anybody out either.
Georgia has not blown anybody out. Kirby Smart still crying. You talking about the cover, right?
Yes, the cover, not to win.
Yeah, give me Georgia Tech.
Ooh,
2.
Ooh, I'm surprised you took it. You followed me with. I bet you Tanner. I bet you that's going to be one Tanner's going to take as well. Next one, Tennessee minus 11 at Vanderbilt. Go ahead, John. Take a pick.
Big kind of somewhat of an interstate rivalry game for Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's been some giant killers, man. Tennessee knows that they are on the fringe. Looking, if they lose another game, they'll be just like Ole Miss. So I kind of like the ball to take care of business, man. They got a better defense.
Okay, John's taking Tennessee. I'm going to take Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt covers this. I don't think they win, but I think they cover. I think they keep it close. They maybe lose by 7 by a touchdown or so. Tennessee breezes in to the college football playoff just barely, but they get the job done. But I take Vanderbilt to cover that 11. Next one is South Carolina at Clemson. Clemson, it's down to a 2.5-point spread. John, who do you like?
All right. Good rivalry game. Our homie, man, he shared. Our homie, Clemson coach, is just kind of shared some of his thoughts about the college football playoff, and kind of, I give the homie Kirby Smart a lot of wine. Him being on wine patrol, but like, nah, man. This is a rivalry game, man. And oh, dude, that's why the West name is so close, dude. But like, yeah, man, Clemson really wants this game just to add to their resume. They got of course, they had the bad loss. You know, what I'm saying, epic bad loss to Georgia, first game of the season. A lot of folks kind of wrote them off. Like he does the league, man. Just like the SEC and Big Ten, you know, the invitational tournament, man. The only way, and like I said, the segment prior to, man, the Big 12 is potentially looking out at Tulane handling this business. The Big 12, you don't want to be the ACC team, you know what I'm saying, that didn't handle their business. Again, Miami took a bad loss against Georgia Tech. We have to remember, Clemson can't afford to lose another game. They can't. With that being said, you know what I'm saying, and all those kind of factor into it. I think Clemson has the team prepared, and they come out with that win. But at 2 points, I see why it's going to be close. But I like something else.
Yeah, I'm going to take Clemson as well, minus the 2.5. If it was 3, I was going to take South Carolina, but it's been bet down, which makes opposite sense that more money and stuff is going on South Carolina. But I just think Clemson, it's going to mean more to them here because they're chomping at the bit to try to get in. I know South Carolina's trying to get in as well, but I think Clemson's got the better-ish resume to get in. I know that sounds crazy because South Carolina did beat Texas A&M. They lost some games that they shouldn't have earlier this year. They lost LSU by 3 on the road. They lost by 24 against Ole Miss at home, which is wild. They lost by 2 at Alabama. So they've lost some of those games, but I just think it's a bigger spot here for Sweeney. So I think they get it done there. We got Tanner back on here. Let me grab him. We'll snack him for these picks. Tanner, South Carolina at Clemson. Clemson minus 2.5.
Yeah, I just want to apologize. Sorry, I knew she was calling me about some stuff, so I had to take. Yeah. No, I'm with you guys. I listened to that whole little bit about you guys talking back and forth on Clemson and stuff, and I want to emphasize, they're both chomping. I saw that they're chomping like close 2 spots out of that playoff spot. I know they're trying to get in there, and South Carolina's in there too. I just think that crowd's too much at Clemson sometimes. I mean, it's Klubnik or the other guy at quarter. I mean, it's really a toss-up right there. But just because I think it goes to like the NFL, it's like that 3-point home win. If they played this game on a neutral field, it'd probably be about a pick 'em. Literally, it probably was. So I expect it to be a good game, but I think they'll get a field goal or something at the end, just enough to cover that thing. What you said, the 2.5 just makes you always want to take the home team when you get the 2.5 on your side. So I'm with you on the Clemson side.
Okay, Tanner, Georgia Tech at Georgia. Georgia minus 19.5.
I'm going to take the Bulldogs there. I think Kirby, he knows he needs a good win. Not really a good win. He needs to punish somebody like that. I mean, Georgia Tech's a good team, like I said. Just don't know if how good they are away from home or on a neutral. So like on a true road game, I think that might push them to the brink. And I think ETN's still out. Georgia's running game scares me. Beck played a little bit better this last week. Actually threw some touchdowns. If they can get that running game going, which is the big if, I mean, they could be dangerous, but I just think they need this game way more than what Georgia Tech does. And I think Kirby knows that. I think he's going to try to get a blowout victory at home. So I like Georgia there.
Okay.
Georgia.
Me and John both took Georgia Tech plus the 19.5. Kirby and them don't blow anybody out, then they don't really need to. They're going to be in the playoffs regardless in the SEC championship. So I think they're going to look ahead more to the SEC championship than they are this game. So I think they hang in there. The other one, Tanner, is Tennessee minus 11 at Vanderbilt. John took Tennessee. I took Vanderbilt.
Ooh, I think Vandy looked good early on. Tennessee still Tennessee lose. I don't think they lose the game. Vandy's been strong. I just think Tennessee's offense and their defense is a little bit better than what Vandy can handle. So I like Tennessee actually here in this spot. I think they can cover that 11. Might be close early on, but I think Nico knows they can get it going and give me the Volunteers.
Okay. Next one is Kansas at Baylor. For some reason, I didn't update this one. I had Baylor -1. It's now it's Kansas -1.5. Well, we'll flip it to Kansas -1.5. But I'm going to take still Kansas. I have Kansas minus. I had them +1. I'm going to take them -1.5 as well. Kansas on a roll. I said it last week that they would be shocking, and they did it again.
I'll snap call it real quick. I was getting ready to say the same thing. +1, -1. I liked them in this game. Period. They're playing strong. I don't see them. I think if they win this game, it might get them to 6-6, so they'll be bowl eligible. So I think they need this game. So, and it'd be a good way to finish on if they win this and then go win the bowl game there. It sounds as terrible as it is as a 5-16. They're strong now that they're back healthy. They're a strong 5-16. So, I just don't think the way they're playing and the way they've steamrolled some teams lately, they're just hot right now. Whether they're playing at home or on the road, I like the Jayhawks.
Yeah.
Okay, John?
Yeah, I like Neal. He's back to running, you know what I'm saying, behind his blocks like he's supposed to. Playing a little bit more inspired football for Kansas. It's good for them to kind of finish the season off strong, man. Give me Kansas.
Okay, perfect. Michigan at number 2, Ohio State. Ohio State 20.5-point favorites. Boys, I think this is an easy one. I'm going to put a lot of money on this one. Ohio State minus the 20.5. I think they run it up. Ryan Day has to run it up on Michigan to exercise some of those demons from the last 3 years.
Give me Ohio State then, man. I'm gonna snap call you.
Okay, Tanner.
I like it too. I was about to say. I think his job's not depending on this. If somehow he does lose this game, he knows his ass.
Right.
Yeah, he's got to win this game, and they got to win it. I mean, they put a statement game. That was a good statement victory. I thought it was kind of a.
Yeah.
My buddies had the under last week in that IU game. I thought that touchdown was kind of Bush League at the end, especially after Henderson went down to save a touchdown, and then they still put it in there, and then that made it actually hit the over on that game.
Well, that's Signetti fault there because of his bullshit comments he made early when he first got hired. He says Purdue sucks, Ohio State sucks, and Michigan sucks.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Yeah. So, with that, I think they can put it on. I mean, I believe Michigan's defense is a lot stronger than IU's. But I think that field position game will get caught up with them. They can't move the ball. IU's had a little bit of offense, so they were able to put up some points. Michigan's offense is, the only way I see them scoring is going to be like a defensive thing, or they're going to have or intercept special teams, something to give them really good field position there. So, yeah, I think my guys handle this on Saturday.
Auburn at Alabama. Alabama 11.5-point favorites. John.
Man, oh man. Man, oh man. Give me Auburn to cover.
Give me Auburn to cover. Okay. Tanner.
Man, Auburn did look good last week, and I feel like Bama is struggling, and I don't, like they said, it's a rivalry game. 11 points. I think Auburn's playing better. I don't think Bama's playing great. So I'm with him. I'll take the 11 with Auburn as well in that game.
Okay. I'm going to take Auburn as well. I initially was on Bama, and then, like you said, I think Auburn's just playing well. Bama, I know they need to win. I think they win the game. I just don't think they cover.
Right.
11.5 is a lot for a team that's as, quote, average as this Bama team is. And there's a lot of fan base that there is not happy with kind of how things have gone, especially against Oklahoma there. That was just a piss down your leg type of game. I mean, we got I have the audio here. Our guy Roll Tide Willie, I mean, he was just not happy with it.
Don't know how to win a ball game. Go, can y'all win a damn game? Don't know how to talk, please. Don't know how to jump on. All y'all know is 2 day plays. Up the middle and pass. Ain't neither one of them work. Get the hell out of Tuscaloosa.
Get the hell out of Tuscaloosa. They ain't happy with him, John.
At all.
Yeah.
At all.
Roll Tide Willie's pissed, and he don't give a piss about nothing but the time. So
Don't start.
Yeah,
Don't start.
I love it. Yeah, I'm with him. That's just a tough job to take up. That's the job you just don't want to do.
No.
It's like Mike Davis with that first coach, man. Right after a legendary coach is out of there, you have all the pressure in the world on you.
Mm-hmm.
But then that next coach has less pressure on it. It's better to come out to that second one because, like, well, the team's been in the shitter. If I don't, I'm damned if I do it, but damned if I don't. But yeah, you don't have as much pressure on you.
Unless you're
more taken.
Mike Woodson, and then you go from shit with
right.
Archie to shit with him. So, next game,
Exactly.
Tanner, we'll let you start this one here. Number 5, Notre Dame minus 7.5 at USC.
Man, USC, they barely. What was that score again? I mean, they go back and forth on quarterbacks. I just don't think their offense is struggling. I mean, they win 19-13 last week to UCLA. I didn't think UCLA's that great of a team, and only hanging up 19. That Notre Dame's defense, I'm not gonna talk them up just because I like them. But he's got probably a top 5 defense going in there in South Bend. They've been he steamrolled Army.
Oh yeah.
That boat raced Florida State. That boat raced Navy. I mean, they do it for. I'm not gonna lie. For a college team that's in the CFP right now, they do have the worst loss on their resume, hands down. That Northern Illinois loss is terrible at home.
Right.
But I just think he can put it on them. I just think they're going to put them away. I don't think USC has the offense for that Notre Dame defense, and I think they'll struggle. And only being 7 and a hook, I think Notre Dame wins by at least 10. So
okay.
I just think. And Lincoln, speaking of coaches, that guy's on the hot seat. If he's real hot over down there. Lincoln Riley. Yeah. Because I feel like that fan base is the same way, not as strong as US, but those traditional schools, and he didn't do that well with Caleb Williams last year, and then another one. He's got quarterbacks decommitting over there, going different places. Might look like a little bit of a dumpster fire over there in SoCal.
Okay. I'm going to take Notre Dame as well, minus 7.5. I think they win by 10 at least. I think they do. They don't want to mess up anything, getting themselves in that college football playoff. They're in the right spot they want to be in. So I'm going to take Notre Dame there as well. John.
A 2-loss Notre Dame team is going to get quirky with their independence and who they didn't play or who they did play. They do have a decent enough resume to kind of counteract some of the NIU stuff. Unfortunately, when they beat Navy, after they beat Navy took a nosedive and did not remain, you know what I'm saying, good. You know what I'm saying? You got to be, hey, man, want to let you fellas know, man, USC is 4-1 at home. They do play a little differently at home than they play on the road. Those wide outs, you know what I'm saying, they don't necessarily have, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of bad tape on them, you know what I'm saying, especially as they kind of cascade through their Big Ten schedule this year. 4-1 at home, though. They do play differently at home, man. So that is something to be aware of. But I do like Notre Dame because they got to know, and you got to understand, man, you might as well be Purdue. You lose this game, you might as well be Purdue. As it pertains to the playoffs, man. And so, like, no, man, give me Notre Dame. But like I said, be careful, y'all.
Okay.
Because USC does play differently.
Last game, Oklahoma at LSU. LSU 6-point favorites. I like Oklahoma plus. Actually, you know what? Fuck, I'm gonna take LSU minus
No way.
6. I'm taking LSU minus 6.
No.
God damn it, Reeve! I thought you were
No
going to
way.
go with me. No, I think they're done. I think Brian Kelly, he about to figure it out too,
Uh-oh.
taking that job. Oh, Oklahoma's defense is legit. Not as good as, but Venables is a defensive guy. He always was at Clemson, and that defense clamped Alabama. Clamped them up. They couldn't do anything.
Hmm.
And I think Bama's offense ran roughshod on LSU.
Yep.
And LSU really didn't do a damn thing against Bama.
I reserve
just
the
think
right
it's a
to change my
bad-
pick.
I just think LSU's in a. I think that sometimes when you get in towards the end of the road, these defenses get better. If offenses don't change, that's just tough. And I think, and Oklahoma's offense is coming back. I think they might be getting some receivers, but when they were playing these teams early on, they were missing top 5 wide receivers. They were playing with like 6-string wide receiver like the first half of the season. So I think some of these players are coming back. He's finally got the quarterback situation under control there. Got the right guy in there. And I just like it right there. I just think, I don't know what time the game is. If it's a night game, it's going to be a little tougher, but still, I like Oklahoma right here.
John, go ahead while I'm figuring out the time.
There's no way LSU. I mean, I know he's losing control of the team. And Gilbert out there cussing out tight ends and whatnot, but there's no way he's going to lose this game. There's no way. Brian Kelly loses this
7 p.m.
You know what I'm saying? Give me LSU, man. Shaq will be in the game.
That's gonna help. That'll help LSU.
Yep.
He won't lose this game, but I'm gonna tell you, I think Oklahoma can keep it close.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
All right. We've got our picks. Another week. Gentlemen, I think next week we'll have our conference championship preview and picks. And then we'll take a couple weeks off on picks until we start getting to some meaningful bowl games with our playoffs and such. So.
All right. I don't know if I got anything going. Well, we got
Hey, man, before Tanner get off, you got to answer for this Auburn tail whipping.
Oh, yeah.
North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
And they got prayed for against Dayton. They got prayed for. You know what I'm saying?
Prayed for.
You know
He
what I mean?
came back. Oh, my God. Came back, won that. Get out of here. You guys could barely. Should have won yesterday. Lost against Kansas. I don't want to hear it. We played.
We're playing great competition.
You're scared to go play them. You're
No,
scared to go play them in Fog Allen. Go play them in Fog Allen like North Carolina did this year.
They got a longer too. R.J. Davis. He's been in college basketball for a long time. But some of the other newcomers, you know what I'm saying? It was just a punch in the mouth from Auburn. You know what I mean?
Auburn's legit. I watched that game start to finish. Auburn will be in that Final Four. They got 10 seniors on that team. 10.
Oh, wow.
That team's stacked. They got veteran leadership. That Broom dude, great player. The guard, he always has these fast-ass guards. He's got long wings. He's got a good team. I'm telling you, Auburn will be there, minimum Elite 8 in this March Madness. They're great. And I'm not saying that just because they whipped up on Carolina. I saw how they played. Carolina tried to come back, punch them in the mouth. They took it, ran it right back up on them. Great team. Pearl's got a great team in Auburn. If they don't, I mean, the SEC, nobody used to talk about like the SEC. Everybody just thought it was Kentucky in there. They're actually starting to turn that conference into
Tennessee's good as well.
Tennessee, Auburn, Alabama,
Arkansas
in there. Yeah.
Hey, what about Florida? You know about Florida, don't you?
Yeah, Florida's always got to go.
No, Tanner, they're a train wreck, man. He's in trouble. That coach is in trouble. He's been he's been stalking women.
I heard about that coach.
He's stalking girls on campus.
I did see that.
Damn.
Yeah, he did. And did you see the very first home game after that came out? They cheered at that. The fans did, but he was announced as the coach.
Hey, he just likes young women. College at co-eds. He's just Ric Flair. I mean, come on now. Who's no different?
Oh, Oh yeah, what happened to Lane Train last week? If we're gonna bring up
Well, that was tough. That was tough for old Lane. I told you I should have took. I had Florida. I changed my pick. I was so pissed I changed it. But I actually bet on Florida there, so I was like, well, I was gonna do the opposite because I knew I bet on Florida plus 11, and then I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and change it on my pick 'em as well. I should.
Yeah. And then what else? We got good Turkey Day games tomorrow. How many? 3 of them tomorrow.
3 of them. Well, I don't know about good. You can the good first one will be all right between the Bears and Lions. Second one is gonna be a snooze, that nap before the next plate of dessert. That'll be Cowboys and Giants, and then we've got Packers and Dolphins. And Tua said we've got to change the narrative. People can't think we can play in the cold. So we'll see Tua and the boys up in Lambeau, cold Lambeau.
Talk about cold, my boy Niners. I just thought effect snow is supposed to be in Buffalo on Sunday night.
Yeah, the 49ers are dead. They're done.
6 to 12 inches.
Niners are done.
Yeah.
Season's over.
Yeah. It is. They should have. Yeah. When they've lost too many games. Real quick on an NFL too. They've had like 4-point leads in the fourth quarter that they've lost those games in. Going in the fourth quarter, they've been up by 4 and lost them. Can't do that. If you can't close out games, you're cooked.
Right.
Yep,
And then last thing is, anything good in Survivor Series, boys? Wrestling? And then I'm gone.
Man, I'm off.
Should I expect any surprises? Is the word.
I don't think you'll see any surprises, but I do like the Bloodline versus the Bloodline and War Games. I think that's gonna be a little weird having CM Punk on one side and then having Bronson Reed on the other. I think they should have added 2 extra members of the Bloodline, possibly maybe the girls' side, but yeah, it is. But I think I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah. I don't think I will tell you this. I don't think it's going to be as wild as what last year's was, and that was when Orton came back and then CM Punk came back.
Okay.
I just watched. By the way, T, I just watched. This will give you the last night, laying in bed. Got a little bit tired, so laid in bed a little early. Watched 1992 Survivor Series, so brought back some old times. That was also the one where where Heenan slapped. I sent you guys that video where he slapped Perfect in the face. It was originally the cover art. Here's a little behind the scenes. The cover art of the pay-per-view actually has Savage and Warrior versus Razor Ramon and Ric Flair, but Warrior, they fired Warrior before this, and Warrior packed his bags and left. So they didn't have time to change. Yeah, they didn't have time to change the art. So so they put the Mr. Perfect in the
Warrior
match.
just stopped going to like events and things. That one Warrior just like would no show certain things.
Yep.
Just wouldn't even show up.
So last night was Survivor Series 92. Tonight, gentlemen, will be Survivor Series 93. So that's going to have the Lex Express and the Steiners against Yoko, the Quebecers, Ludwig Borga. You guys remember Ludwig? So I'll be checking that out tonight. That'll be my my Thanksgiving Eve little pay-per-view section. So, all right, T, appreciate you, my man.
All right, yeah, at least we got some good hoops tomorrow during the Snooze Fest, so we can watch some basketball too. I like how they started throwing college games in there too on Turkey Day. So
absolutely.
That helps mix it up.
Hey, I got to ask you.
Right,
I got to ask you. What's your favorite dish on Thanksgiving?
Oh man,
just pick one.
Man.
Uh-oh.
Jesus Christ, Tanner, this isn't the SATs.
Yeah, it's two. I'm a dressing guy. I'll go dressing. It's either I'm a dress. Need the dressing with some gravy. I look forward to that. Okay. It was a toss up. It was that, or I like sweet potato casserole. I'm tossed up between a couple two.
Okay. Sweet potato casserole is mine. So okay, perfect. All right, T. Appreciate you.
I like sweet. All right. See ya.
See ya. All right, man. I was like, dude, I was almost like I put the SATs in front of him there when I asked that question. So, if you easy now, D-Con, I see you on hold. Give me a minute here. I'll bring you on here in a second. We do want to thank our sponsors, Scott K. Nichols and State Farm Insurance. We also want to thank our sponsor, Thomas and Reed, John. Without these two, we would not be able to power what we do tonight, dude. we've got a lot of interactions on the show tonight. A lot of concurrence watching on all of our platforms. We can't do it every Wednesday, but these little midday 4 p.m. shows are really cooking. So I do want to play quick audio, John. My sports insight, and this is kind of how me and you kind of developed our relationship at the big box store when I kind of called my shots on certain things that happened with LeBron and all that, and that's kind of tipped my hat. I actually had another one here, and I actually found the audio today on my phone. And got a shout out from friend of the program, JMV, John. This was from back in October 6, 2016. So I want to play this real quick.
Okay.
October 6th, me and JMV. Here we go.
I went back yesterday, and your tweet got buried. Brandon Reef, actually, this is another like Brad Stevens epic here, Tony. Brandon Reef sent me a tweet yesterday, about 20 hours ago, that said, hey, I've got inside knowledge here. I know somebody, and Pep Hamilton is talking to Reggie McKenzie about the Raiders head coaching position. And I did not see it until he retweeted Adam Schefter swooping in and ripping his story. So Brandon Reef, no, not ESPN, no, not Fox, nobody. Brandon Reef had that story before absolutely anybody. So be sure you give Brandon Reef all the props for having the Pep Hamilton conversation with Reggie McKenzie and that Raiders gig before anybody else.
So I mean, come on now. I mean, it's what I do. I mean, Adam Schefter ripped my story 8 years ago.
Yeah, dude, Adam Schefter. I said, sorry, bro, not to bring up old stuff, man. When the homie beat the Steelers this past weekend in the snow globe, I said, James Winston is a national treasure. 6 seconds, literally 6 seconds later.
Oh, he ripped you then too.
Hey man, it's all good. I know they watch Crossroads Sports. I know they watch Three Foolish Men on the Twitters. I know they know who Brett. I mean, the homie Jamie V, like that's the homie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? That he's cool. You know, dude, I tip my hat to him every time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like these other entities and whatnot, they be knowing who we are, man. It's all good.
Yeah, and we got this one. This one here. This is another retro call here. You'll appreciate this one.
Oh man, bring it on.
I know. Me know. Jonathan, what say you? What's going on, Dan Dawkins? You? How are you? Fantastic. A lot of keyboard warrior going on right here. Jonathan, this is Three Foolish Men, if you didn't know. I'm done. What you got, bud? Huh? You call me. No. Here's the thing, man. No. You called me. No, I did, but I mean, you called me, clown. So what do you got? What do you got? You're always talking.
If he'd shut up and let you talk.
What do you got? You what? Faking your head. Faking your head. Yes, you are, and that's a good thing because, frankly, at 3:00 I'm gone, and you guys and all I do is count cash. So you keep renting it. You keep listening. You keep doing everything.
Oh, I could have kept going, but John, yeah, I had to save that call.
That's the thing, man. My homie said he'd be counting cash and then be talking about how broke he is in this quote unquote Joe Biden economy. And I know, Brandon, that's where I'm like, wait a minute. So what is it, Dan? Are you broke or do you have the money? So that's kind of where we go sideline with Dan. But like he hung up on me. We get to talk about with Dan Dawkins.
We got to get it back again. I got to have you on there again with you so I get that audio. So before we bring our guy on, I know he's been on hold. We'll bring him on here in a second. Leading into the Pacers talk and stuff, I got to play this little audio clip. You know, this was great memories for us.
Oliver, double team, shot clock at 4. Nimmore's got to put it up. Step back, his three-pointer.
Yeah, I was at that game. That was a hell of a hard three. I wish we could have that back. Decott, welcome to the show. I know you want to talk Pacers, but I think you first have to, per Jonathan, give your apology to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Hey, I've got a lot of things to cover, and I'll cover Notre Dame first. What do I owe an apology to a team that the toughest team they played is a service academy at this point in the year? I'm just apologizing to nothing. Navy, Army, Northern Illinois, USC coming up. All these layups, man. Come on, we're not doing that. Let's talk to me at the end of December, Jonathan. And if they do anything in the playoffs, because they're an independent, so it's a lock because they're Notre Dame and they've got the brand. All you gotta do is just beat up on. They probably got the 80th worst schedule of any of the teams in the playoffs right now. Probably the top 25 automatic.
Close.
No, sorry, if they're gonna knock IU, they better start knocking Notre Dame as well. So, nah, man, I'm not giving any apology yet, man. No. Let me see you play some competition. But hey, I want to hit you also on high school stuff. My old school, Warren Central, is looking for a coach. Kevin Wright just took the job for Carmel. Any word? Because it's zipped up tight in Warren Township about who they're looking at and who they're talking about. You guys, have you heard anything at all?
Maybe Shane Steichen? Maybe.
Wow.
Hey, listen. I know this won't happen, but I would love to see my guy be the coach. I know he hasn't coached. He doesn't have a history of coaching, but I would love to see the legend himself, Warren Central's very own Jeff George, Coach Warren Central. Granted, it's not going to happen, but that'd be my personal choice because I just love Warren Central. But that's my deal on that.
Okay.
Hit on the Pacers. Talk to a guy, and I felt it was right when it happened with that injury for Neesmith. That's not an ankle, man. His boot is off now, but that's not an ankle. Talk is that he severely strained his Achilles, which is why they talked about it's an ankle, right? He hasn't been on the court warming up pre-game like Nemhard has been. He's walking around still gingerly. They're saying he's weeks away still. Same as Ben Shepherd. They had another MRI end of last week. They said he's not days, he's weeks away. I think we talked about it, on the call before when I was on last week. Unless they can get some real help, man, you can't get a guy off the street playing backup center and expect it to pay major dividends long term. You got some short term boost this week because you got a really weak schedule this week. But I'm telling you, man, my boys are in trouble. I'll say it again. I think they're in trouble. Halliburton's had a couple of good games, which I'm glad of. But let me see you sustain it.
I don't think they're gonna panic. They were kind of cool with getting Moses Brown. They got some inspired play out from Moses Brown. He seems to be a good rim finisher. You know what I'm saying? And always hands available, even though he looks still kind of awkward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's always got hands available and whatnot, and that's kind of what they need. Point blank at the production at the rim. Like everything can't be like I watched the podcast with BJ Armstrong interview, and he's like everybody plays the same. He said everybody got guys running to the point line, just waiting. Not even trying to get it to the trying to get running to the 3-point line, not trying to get fouled or not even trying to get a good two. And it's a copycat league, and of course. If you Boston, you got the shooters. He's well, Brad Stevenson and all that. He's well scouted that team and put together a unit that can do that kind of NBA if you want it. But like everybody can't play like that, especially if you have some of your depth out. I think that's why the Patriots have struggled. I think that's why a team like the Milwaukee Bucks kind of struggled because again, they brought some different players and whatnot. And like I said, everybody's just kind of playing this spot up, shoot three guy and shot that ball. And then you gotta hope that your superstar has crazy takeover game. Unfortunately, Tyrese Burton, he hasn't kind of played like that. He doesn't play like with the edge like John Morant. Like I gotta go out here and try to kill this team offensively. He plays with the game like I gotta get my teammates involved and whatnot. And so they have to spread it out. They can't forget that Miles out there. They can't forget that Ben Mathurin's out there who who's had a definite spring in the step and definitely gives them a different look. Athletically. For darn sure, what I'm saying? Yeah,
right.
But they got it. When I look at them, man, they still got to get better defensively. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in the short term, like you said, D-Cot, in the short term, some of these, the centers off the street, D League, whatever, whether it be, Jaleel Okafor or even like the Moses Brown, I don't. They contribute, and hopefully, like when all the other guys kind of come in, whether it be Nemhard, Naismith, this is kind of be something to kind of think about. But like, I don't foresee them making a trade. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think it's too early for that. I just don't think how they're constituted because we talk about the depth last year, right? You know, that depth is taking a huge hit. Think about it. You know, Jalen's in Chicago. You lose your two backup centers, and then you lose your two best perimeter defenders. So
yeah,
no team can sustain that.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't think about paying Murphy a whole lot this year. And then
No, not at all.
He's giving them minutes, man. So
not at all.
A lot of teams. I know when you look at these East Conference standings, a lot of those East Conference teams have lackluster records and whatnot. You know, the Patriots' big thing for them is just going ahead while you have guys out, beat the teams that non-playoff.
That's all you can do, right? That's all you can do.
Yeah, non-playoff teams shouldn't be hanging with you at all.
And then you can hope come February when hopefully everybody except for Jackson and our big guy from Detroit is they won't be back, of course. And then everybody's gotten their legs underneath them. That's all you can hope for. Mid-January to late.
Right.
Mid to late January. I wouldn't say February, but mid to late January because it has to happen, right? So you're talking mid-January. You're talking about 7 weeks away. So if in fact you can tread water until then, you have an opportunity. But to Brandon's point though, man, we're looking at probably a play-in team because you're not going to be top six.
Ooh, man.
I'm just saying, just the numbers, man. The numbers don't add up, right? Not about talent, but the last thing about the Pacers, but it also starts with TH. If Halliburton decides to squat, just squat, man. We know you're not a strong defender, but we can't have Dylan Brooks posting you up, man, and hunting you in the post.
Right.
That's unacceptable. If we can just act like he wants to play defense, right? Sort of like the Mark Jackson thing we talked about a couple of weeks ago. Just try to get in front of your guy. But we'll see what happens. I'll be there tomorrow. Friday. I'll be there Friday. Got Detroit Friday, so I'll be there tomorrow. I was gonna go tonight, but my cousin needs a ride from the casino, man. This guy's got to get a car sooner or later, man. Okay. But I definitely want to hit that. Then the last thing, college football.
I got to hear about this Bama.
I want my boys to win. True enough. But listen, man, Bama fans are so unrealistic. How do you think that with NIL and all the level playing field is going around in the country that you just can just walk in somebody's stadium and just because you got an A on your chest that they're going to fold for you? It doesn't happen that way, man. Oklahoma had the best game plan I've ever seen a team play against Alabama probably in the last 15 years. I mean, it's like they knew the play before it happened, and that's scouting and that's coaching, man. And I'm not saying, De Boer's a bad coach. He's terrible. No, not all that stuff. Right. Listen, you're everybody's Super Bowl. You're everybody's. Let's deal with it. You got to beat Auburn this weekend and then do a lot of praying. That's it. If they don't, if they don't, it's still going to be a great 12-team tournament because, again, nobody can sit there and say this is the prohibitive favorite. They're absolutely going to take it off. You can say, oh, Oregon's undefeated. Okay, man, they got holes. Ohio State has holes. Texas has holes. Georgia has holes. I think it's wide open. I think 6 or 7 teams could probably win it.
No, I got Ohio State or nothing, bro. For real.
You saw my boy return that punt back.
Yeah, some of these teams like a Clemson and some of these teams like Indiana, they might get over their first round opponent if it's a good enough draw. Like Indiana has to play Tennessee and Bloomington. Man, I still kind of edge. IU. They got enough. They showed me enough. But you got a Boise State drawing up against Ohio State. They're gonna show them like why they Ohio State. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it's about the matchup. So it's a short tournament. Yeah, good point.
Correct.
You got really good point there, man. We'll see what happens, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna be all eyes on it. Bama's in or not, I'm all in it. This NIL has leveled the playing field, man, and everyone has an opportunity to steal a player with a couple $1 million, and then all of a sudden, your team is flipped, man. All I hope for is for the Indiana sake, they don't turn into Mel Tucker in Michigan State 5 years ago. You remember Mel had the big year when he had the transfers? He had the kid from Wake Forest, right? He's in Seattle now. I forget his name. The running back. And they had a great year and all the rage, right?
Yep.
And then when that dust settled, and I still say to this day, and I tell anybody, I absolutely believe Michigan State set him up with that chick, man. I think it was a setup from the word go. I absolutely do. Absolutely, man. Yeah, he did wrong, but I think it was an absolute setup. I don't want our guy, Kurt, to turn into that. So I've got to see him do it for a full cycle. And then I'll believe that he's that guy. I don't believe he's that guy right now because we've seen this in Indiana, right? We've seen it, 1 year wonders, 2 year wonders. I want to see it for 4 years through a recruiting cycle, and then I'm all in.
Hey, D-Cot, you know the old saying, they say loose lips sink ships. Is your boy Paul George doing that out there in Philly?
Hey, dude, listen, man, you're so funny you say that. I had an argument online, one of my sports groups. I said it's absolutely that Paul George. Because first of all, he acts like a female dog, and he's everywhere he's gone, he's done it. He's acted sassy. He's out for the year. I absolutely can see him because he's Mr. Podcast, right? I've got my podcast. I'm doing all these wonderful things. I would be willing to bet because I'm kind of a bet man. I'd bet half a thousand that it was him. I'd bet $1,000 it was him because who else has anything to gain and sharing that? The rest of those guys, pretty much, other than my guy from North Central, he's there. But I don't think he's that type of guy, right? I don't know him. I don't know a lot of people that do know him, but I don't think he's that type of guy. But Paul George loved the drama, man. He was a drama queen here before he left. Drama queen in Oklahoma when he said the Pacers were shown how to be a small market team when OKC got Carmelo. Remember when Carmelo went to OKC for a couple of weeks?
Yep.
And Paul George made the statement, now this is what a small market team does to try and win. Okay, 3 weeks later, Melo
pan out.
You're shipped to L.A. for a boatload of players, and L.A. wish they could have half the draft capital back that they gave. So, I absolutely think it's Paul George, man. And I'm glad. And please stay away from Indiana. When they come back here, I hope he doesn't even, he's not even on the team visiting. Just stay at home.
He can't bang you said he can't even bang the anvil at the Coast game.
Nah, man. Stay away. Listen, it would do me so good if Paul George stood there. I'll never go to the state of Indiana ever again. Damn. That would do my heart all the wonders in the world. He had an opportunity to be a difference maker, man. And he chose, the old grass was greener on the other side. And we know when he went over there, he realized it was painted. It wasn't grass.
And it still didn't get to the Lakers.
Yeah. So I'm glad
had to learn
that.
the hard way. The Clippers is the little brothers of the Lakers. Always gonna be. Had to learn the hard way.
Yeah. He thought going with Kawhi was gonna make a difference. Well, it made a difference, all right. Yeah, 3 injuries later, 2 first round exits, 2 second round exits. Good job, man. Appreciate that. Hey, last thing. Hey, you all know Mark Boyle and Slick used to do the thing before Slick passed away. And Elfrid Payton, I tweeted at Mark this week. Elfrid Payton, when he was in Orlando back in 16 or 17, had this hairdo, right, and was going forward. And I was at that game this past week when they played. And I remember Slick back in 16, I'm listening to radio, and he asked Mark, "Hey, Mark, does that guy have a hat on down there?" Because at that time they moved the radio broadcast up to where they are now, so they're no longer on the floor. Slick actually thought Elfrid Payton had a hat on, and so
because he got hair, it's like everywhere. It's like dread and afro at the same time.
Yeah, so I guess Mark said to me they played the clip during the broadcast, but I was at the game so I couldn't hear it. So if you guys could find that Elfrid Payton clip, I was going to laugh. It was a laugh. Slick's voice, right? That country drawl. It was perfect, man. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I know I had a lot of cover and everything, but I just wanted to get everything out, man. Hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving and everything too.
Hey, appreciate that, D-Con. Hey, real quick, what's the one dish you can't be without on Thanksgiving?
Hey, it's non-traditional, man. It's 2. It's not 1. It's pinto beans and fried potatoes, man.
Gotta have.
Oh man,
Man, the vegans talking.
Hey,
what's wrong with that, bro?
Hey, but no,
Hey,
listen,
that's
listen,
pinto beans, what, man? I ain't heard that in a long time.
listen, here's why. I was a baby, right? And my mom
Okay.
always take care of, my dad also like that. And she was like, what you want? And she always took care of me. It was always pinto beans and fried potatoes, without a doubt, man. So
Hey man,
that's it.
you ever slide? Have you ever slide any white beans on you? You ever put it in there?
Oh yeah. Oh, Great Northern. Yeah, Great
Oh,
Northern. Absolutely.
Great Northern.
You can mix them. You can mix them, man. That's really good that way too.
That's why I'm asking, babe. But, hey man, let me ask you this, bro. What about any relish in it? What about that?
No. No relish.
No relish. No relish. Not in your black eyed peas?
Gotta have a little bit of sugar on them, though. Gotta have a little bit of sugar if you're doing black eyed. That's a Mississippi thing. That's a Mississippi thing.
I mean, we talking about this type of stuff anyway. I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you what they used to do in Tennessee, but I got you.
Yeah. What I'll do is this, because everybody's gonna be posting their plates tomorrow, right? I'll just post it in our chat. I won't post it public. I'll post it in our chat what I'm working with tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
Sounds
Thanks,
good,
D-Cot. Have a great
fellas,
Thanksgiving.
Love the show, fellas. Y'all be safe, okay?
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, that's our guy D-Cot calling in with his things. John, he wasn't going to apologize to Notre Dame. Just wasn't going to do it. That's his thing. What else you got, John? Anything else before we go?
That's bad.
Anybody else want to call in? Talk 929-477-3331. It's 929-477-3331. If you want to call in real quick, get your hot take in. We got about 10 minutes left of our show if needed. If not, we can pull the plug early. But what do you got, John?
Yeah, man. If we don't have any calls, man, again, I got a lot of college basketball. I got to, get my eyes on.
Memphis is hurt.
Great call.
Memphis is down by 20 with 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, like I said, man, you know what I'm saying? UConn, I think UConn will bounce back. But, nah, man, they got some things that they got to work out. Memphis, like I said, long term, I couldn't see Penny kind of keeping that going on, but we'll see, man. No, man, I think we had some great interactions. A lot of our folks, normal folks kind of called in, chimed in. If you didn't call in, man, you probably got about one more month. And then we go to a new system, new service, new number, all those things, man. But yeah, man, you should have called in. It was another classic show, man. Thanks to all the callers who kind of chimed in. Thanks to Scott K. Nichols State Farm Insurance for being our sponsor. Thanks to Thomas and Reed, certified public accountants, for being our and then consultants for being our sponsor as well, man. How could we do Crossroads Sports on a weekly basis without them, man? If you missed out on this show, man, check us out. We're always on Facebook. We're always on Twitter. We're always on Instagram, talking sports, whether it be NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, or even, the occasional pro wrestling event. We're kind of chiming in about that as well, man. So unless anybody go call in, with just yet, man, I hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving, man. I'm already, D-Cop's talking about posting video of food and stuff, man. I've already kind of started, with mine. I kind of,
you got the pies?
Devil eggs. You
got the pies made yet?
Yeah, I wake up early in the morning, man, start making sweet potato pies. So I made about 4 sweet potato pies early this morning. We are now down to 3 because, you got to eat one. You know what I'm saying? We're now down to 3.
Yep.
Got some devil eggs to make, got some other surprises tomorrow for my folks as we celebrate Thanksgiving. Brandon Reed didn't ask me. Well, I don't really have a favorite.
Yeah, what's your favorite?
That plate. My favorite is like the plate, bro. It's going to be having macaroni and potatoes all over it. and turkey. You know what I'm saying? I don't have those. We don't have to have the nice Chinette where everything's separate.
No, that's too much shit to watch.
Put it all. Man, dude, the only thing that got to be separate, and I think you agree, is my dessert. So, I put my dessert plate, whether it's jelly or ice cream or cake or pie, you know what I'm saying? I kind of keep that separate. But, the hot plate is hot and everything's on there. So, I can't wait, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, to commune with my folks and, pick out for sure next week. No, tomorrow.
Yeah,
can't wait.
Tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely. Mine's sweet potato casserole, hands down. So, can't wait. Looking forward to that. A lot of great football games, college basketball. We've got NFL. We didn't really. We talked Colts on thing on Sunday, but they got the Patriots. Boy, you can't lose that game in New England. If that's the case, a little bit of trouble. But we'll see. Conversation will continue on Facebook. We'll continue on Twitter, on X, on Instagram. Join us there. Thank you, everyone. Thank everybody for listening, and have a great Thanksgiving. We'll see y'all next week. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show. You can find more episodes on iTunes and the Google Play Store. Be sure to like and subscribe